and it's a disaster. And we want to make sure that our country will have certain things so enshrined that they'll never end up under tyranny. For example, the founders saw the ability to speak and worship freely as a natural right protected by the First Amendment. Congress is prohibited from making laws establishing religion or abridging the freedom of speech. The Fourth Amendment safeguards citizens' right to be free from unreasonable government intrusion to their homes, in their homes, through the requirement of a warrant. The Bill of Rights were strongly influenced by the Virginia Declaration of Rights, written by George Mason. Other procurers include English documents such as the Magna Carta, the Petition of Rights, the English Bill of Rights, and the Massachusetts Body of Liberties. So they have all of these pieces of. They already have like a Petition of Rights, an English Bill of Rights, a Massachusetts Body of Liberties, so they can see what other bodies have come up with on standard, just obvious rights that people should have. So Madison's like, all right, I'm getting all this feedback. So one of the many points of contention between the Federalists who advocate for a strong national government. Because you think, so Federalists are for a strong national government. Anti-Federalists are those who want the power to remain with the state and local governments. Okay, the Constitution's lack of Bill of Rights would place specific limits on the power. So they were having arguments, the Federalist and the Anti-Federalist. Federalists, we need a strong government to keep unity. And then the Anti-Federalists are like, no, we want to have power at the state level. So back and forth. Federalists argued the Constitution did not need a Bill of Rights. Does that make sense? Federalists said, well, we just want a big, whopping, strong government. There's no need for a Bill of Rights because the people in the states kept the powers not given to the federal government. Remember in the Constitution, anything that was not directly given to the federal government would be, by default, given to the states. But the Anti-Federalists held that the Bill of Rights were necessary to safeguard individual liberty. Madison, then a member of the U.S. House of Representatives, altered the Constitution's text where he thought appropriate. However, several representatives led by Roger Sherman objected, saying that the Constitution had no authority to change the wording of the Constitution. Therefore, Madison's changes were presented as a list of amendments that would follow Article 7. The House approved 17 amendments. Of these, the Senate approved only 12, which were sent to the states for final approval in 1789. 10 amendments were approved. 10. That's how many amendments are in your Bill of Rights. Virginia's legislature was the final state legislature to ratify the amendments, approving them on December 15, 1791. So, 1791, December 15th. After the Federalists and the Anti-Federalists went back and forth, sent it to the states, it was all matted out. The final ones came in, and we ended up with the Senate approved 12, which were sent to the states, and 10 were actually ratified. So these are the 10 that were ratified after going back and forth, as the Anti-Federalists wanted these to make sure that you and I in 2019 would have protections. The Marxist Democratic Socialist Party in America, the globalists, want to diminish these today. How much are you willing to fight to preserve them? These are people that fought a revolutionary war. They fought against the most powerful nation in the world, and they won. When they were writing the rules and the Constitution, and they wanted to make sure that the Constitution and the Bill of Rights with it would give the authority of how the federal government would work, but also would give due to the states if the states could handle the issues and the federal government would not need to. And then with the Bill of Rights in place, then everything should be beyond misunderstanding. We're going to finish with this. Here we go. You're going to know some of these, but I want you to understand where these 10 came from, that they weren't arbitrary, capricious. They were basically thought through, battled for, and here are the 10 that made it through the states and ratified. The First Amendment to the Constitution. Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion or prohibiting the free exercise thereof, or abridging the freedom of speech or of the press, or the right of the people peaceably to assemble and to petition the government for a redress of grievances. First Amendment, what's included? Congress, now these are broken, and I hate them. I hate it that they've been broken because, well, we need zoning laws, so we're not going to allow a Bible study because the city needs to have churches only where designated. For example, the government's separation of church and state, so religion should not be allowed in the public square, by some of them will say. So that's what's in the First Amendment. The founders, Congress can make no laws. So no establishing a religion or preventing religious practices or abridging the freedom of speech or the press or stopping the people to peaceably assemble and to petition the government for redress of grievances. There's your First Amendment. No government religion, but they can't stop you from worshiping. They can't take away your freedom of speech or the freedom of the press, or they can't stop people from meeting peaceably or stop them from petitioning the government for a redress of grievances or to protest and have rallies outside the White House, outside the gates. Second Amendment. So you got those, right? So that's what's in it. There's your First Amendment. Second Amendment. A well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state. The right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. Why is the Second Amendment, why was it written? Because they knew that if the people were not allowed, if they were not protected, and there was not a wall to keep the government from taking your guns, then tyranny would come. So they're saying that a well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state. In today's English, that people must be able to have guns and arms, because that, by people having weapons, it will keep tyranny from happening. So the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. The language couldn't be clearer here, but our judicial activist judges, they don't care. It's ridiculous. Okay, I'm going to run out of time here. Amendment 3, no soldier shall in time of peace be quartered in any home without the consent of the owner, nor of time of war, but in a manner prescribed by law. The military cannot come in, the government cannot come in and just live in your house and take your stuff. The Fourth Amendment, the right of the people to be secure in their persons, houses, papers, and effects against unreasonable searches and seizures shall not be violated, and no warrant shall be issued but upon probable cause, supported by oath or affirmation, or particularly describe the place to be searched and the persons or things to be seized. In other words, the government cannot come in, the police, without a warrant. You're protected by the Bill of Rights. Fifth Amendment, no person should be held to answer for a capital or otherwise infamous crime unless a an indictment or of a grand jury, except in cases arising in the land of naval forces or militia. Basically, you don't have to testify against yourself. Sixth Amendment, in all criminal prosecutions, accused shall enjoy the right to a speedy trial. That way, you're not waiting forever in jail for your trial. And on your own, look up Amendment 7, 8, 9, and 10, because there's 10 of them in the Bill of Rights. Know your protections. Thank you for joining The Informant. My name is Eric Thompson. I'll see you guys tomorrow.